How are you as a leader shifting your approach from being directive to being supportive? I'm Greg Schenkel, President of Unique Training and Development and Frontline Leadership Systems. And in today's Leader Feeder, I want to talk about your leadership approach and whether you are conscious of how you should be acting in different situations with different team members. When should you be more directive and when should you be more supportive? Because most leaders only use one approach. They're either so loosey-goosey and hands-off and let people sink or swim all the time, or they tend to gravitate towards being micromanagers and being overly directive even when somebody is talented and confident and capable in their role. Now, there are of course times to be both, and I want to talk to you about kind of three things that you can use to decide when to be supportive, when to be directive, and the idea that you may have to change as an employee goes through different job tasks. So, first thing to think about for any employee is their task competence and confidence. Because team members will have varying degrees of competence and confidence depending on the job. So somebody who is very new to your department and new to the equipment in your department are really going to appreciate you being much more directive and specific to them than if you just throw them in and say, you'll figure it out. Because even though some people will succeed under that, it really doesn't give them that same sense that their leadership cares about them and supports them. So when someone is new to a task and lacking in competence and confidence, you're going to find yourself needing to be more directive. The second thing that might shift between being directive and supportive is when the tasks change. Sometimes when someone's hired, well, frequently, things change over the 5, 10, 15 years that someone's on the job, and they may have been totally confident and competent when they first joined the company, but now you're introducing a new system, a new piece of technology, and that person might need to have a little bit more hands-on, get more specific and directive with them just for a short amount of time until they get more comfortable with the new changes that you're implementing in the department. And I guess the third time to really question whether you should be more directive or supportive is when performance changes. So when you notice that someone starts to struggle and they're not delivering as well as they used to, that may be the time when you need to jump in and get a little bit more directive with them. And then as they become more comfortable and their performance improves, you're going to be more supportive. You're going to back off a little bit. So even if you could just master those two aspects of leadership styles, and believe me, there's different combinations of those two that you could really nuance, but if you could just balance when to be more directive and specific, when somebody needs to have that extra level of direction, and when to back off and become more supportive so that the person feels that they have the freedom and the autonomy to perform. If you can do those two things, you'll be far and away better than many leaders who tend to gravitate either to being directive or supportive all the time. So once you've worked on your leadership style and approach, then you're going to want to work on some of your other leadership capabilities. And of course, that's where we come in with our Frontline Leadership program. And that training can be delivered on site exclusively for your organization, or these days, frequently it's from our virtual training studio where your engagement of your attendees from your desktop matches or sometimes even exceeds what they'd get in an in-person workshop. And of course, we have public workshops, we've got books and videos and resources. All of that is on our website at uniquedevelopment.com. And everything starts with a conversation, and you can interact with us on one of our many social media platforms. No matter how you embrace us, we want to be your leadership resource for excellence in retention and performance.